All right, so I should still be wearing gloves right now. I'm not. It's fine. Okay. So I'm gonna get all my supplies ready and I'm gonna try to only touch the outside of the containers as much as I can. I'm gonna lay them out on my pad here, which is also supposed to be sanitized. So then it's a question of how do you get everything out of the packs without touching the inside of the packs. So this then, that area is not sanitized anymore. It's considered dirty. That's bad. Don't do that. So like, I'm gonna open this up from the outside, but I'm not gonna touch it. I'm just gonna let it fall. Only gonna touch the outside of the containers, because if I touch the inside, they're no longer clean. And the outside of these containers are filthy. Even if they come straight from your DME, they're filthy. Here's my needle. All right. They give you a mask, which I used to wear, and you should wear when you first get it, and you should make all your nurses wear, but like, I don't wear it anymore. And then you've got your pack of gloves. And I'm gonna leave the rest in the pack because I do not want to touch this stuff without gloves. I'm not touching the gauze without gloves on. I'm not touching the Tegaderm without gloves on. I've got to have gloves on for that. All right, so next up, I'm starting to dry, which is great. I'm gonna put my gloves on because it's gonna get real gross here. So these are, when I send them in the pack like this and they're in the pack, they are sterile. So I'm going to use sterile technique to put them on. I can touch the cuff because it's rolled. But I do not touch the other part of the glove. I can only touch the inside there. So now I have a sterile hand. Now this hand is sterile, so I can only touch the outside of the glove here. And with my filthy hand, I can touch the inside. And then I put my sterile hand inside this part of the other glove, which is also sterile, to put it on. So they go on slightly differently depending on which one goes on first. Now I have my gloves on. Everything is sterile now, so I have to be really careful. So then I'm gonna get my other stuff ready. I'm gonna take this little piece of paper off, at least try to. Go. All right, I'm dry, so I'm gonna put on my skin prep now. You can put your skin prep on before your gloves. So skin prep is essentially like, you know, like a layer of sunblock that you put on. It's a protectant layer. It just like goes into the skin. It dries really fast. Some versions, like the Cavillan, don't burn, and you can put them directly on top of where you're gonna put the needle site. There's another brand that's like an orange brand. It will burn, and you have to go all around the site, but you don't go directly on it. So essentially, anywhere that you know that you're gonna tape, you put your skin prep on. And like I said, it dries really, really fast. And so you're just gonna like wipe it. And this is gonna protect your skin. All right, now, if I get a fungal infection on my skin, which for me happens like literally in a matter of hours, if it gets moist under there from sweating, if I go for a bike ride or whatever, I get moisture underneath my Tegaderm on my line when it's accessed, within a matter of hours. For me, at this point, my skin will turn red. If I get soap on it, it burns, and that's when I know, like, okay, there's fungus issue, there's skin irritation. So if that were the case, I would have like a little square of red, which I don't right now, but let's pretend I do. This is the stage where I take my little tube of Athlete's Foot cream, not spray, but the cream, and I take my gloved hands and I rub it in on all of those red areas before I put this on. So chlorhexidine, then you put the Athlete's Foot cream on, and then you take your skin prep, and instead of rubbing it like I just did, you're gonna pat it. You're gonna pat everything on top of that Athlete's Foot cream, and that will seal it into your skin, but create a barrier between the Athlete's Foot cream and your Tegaderm. And it's amazing how many people do not know this trick. Okay, so that stuff is pretty much dry, so we'll go on to the next step. All right, so then I'm gonna get my needle ready because I'm pretty much ready for insertion at this point. So this is the needle that gets used for a port. Well, when they said it's a 90-degree needle, I was like, what? All right, so here's your line. These are the wings. The needle is in this little case here. It's 90 degrees. The needle is you know, horizontal. But I'm not gonna focus on that. I'm gonna get the air out of the line first. So I'm gonna take the cap off and add this little plastic piece. And I don't know what the name of the plastic piece is, but it's sterile, so I'm gonna put it right on. And then I'm gonna take my saline flush, take the lid off. So when there's air in the top, so you pull down a little bit, not much, then you go over a sink and then push up until the saline comes out the top. So you pull down and you push up, and that gets rid of the air because you don't want any air bubbles in here. You get air bubbles in your line really, really, really bad, right? So then I'm gonna stick this on the end. Everything is sterile. I don't need to wipe it down at this point. It came sterile. I'm gonna just aim this over my sink and push water through until it comes out the needle, and then I know there's no air in the line. It's only saline in the line. You can take this off. I prefer to leave it on when I access because I find it's easier that way. So I'm gonna just take this off and show you. See, there's your big needle. The size of my needles is 0.75, so 3/4 of an inch. You can get a 1/2 inch needle, which is shorter. You can get an inch needle, which is longer. I don't know what size you're gonna need, and your doctors probably don't know. And there's no way to at the beginning I just had to try different sizes until I figured out okay, 0.75 is the thickness that I'm gonna need for my body. All right, so now we're ready to insert the needle. My site's been cleaned. It's got skin prep on it. It's dry. Then you want to put on your bio patch. This is a bio patch. Sometimes insurance companies will give you flack because they do not want to provide this. But this is this little donut is going to help you not get sepsis because this thing is infused with antiseptic solution, and it goes around the needle so that any bugs crawling on the skin towards the site will hit this thing and they'll die. So they cannot get physically into your body because these bacteria, these viruses, these germs, these microbes, they're mobile. They're all mobile. They can get on the bottom of your line and crawl their way up into your body. So throughout the week, and I learned this with my Hickman and Groshong, you have to wipe the line down. You have to wipe it down with either chlorhexidine or alcohol wipes. You have to sanitize your line because anything that's on that line, it's going to crawl its way up. That's a big one. That's something you have to do. You cannot depend on your nurses to do it. So anyways, I put my needle through my donut. There. Now it's through the bio patch, and now I'm going to actually insert it.